you putting a decent amount of time in on Rumble too. And remember, definitely can be flexed to those solo lanes too, even though we've gotten lax and used to seeing them in the jungle.
All right, looks like roughly the same 3 first picks in this game, or a similar set of them right there. Rumble going into the jungle here for Svenskeren, Lee Sin top, almost certainly for FakeGod, and the Ezreal for Neo. Great champ again.
I was going to say, when you have Rumble early, you always want to look for some extra CC on your team to keep people in place for the Rumble ultimates. But also you start to think about diversified damage types. Rumble jungle, as we saw in the first game, trying to pair it with stuff like Viego, you know, these AD threats that are going to really make your opponent sweat in choosing their rune shards when they're loading in, just for their lane matchup, but also the build moving forward. So isn't going to be that quite yet. Kaisa pairing with a lot of dive. I want to see CC. I want to see CC in almost all 3 rest of the picks from EG.
Yeah, exactly. And when you're asking for that, I'm just thinking Nautilus, right? This is the pairing we saw at MSI from pretty much everyone who liked to play Kaisa. Slap it up in there with the Nautilus. The Nautilus has the lockdown.
Slap him up!
Yes! For that Rumble ultimate. It gives you the dive. It pairs well with a lot of these aggressive solo laners that have been very popular in the meta. And when you're thinking about Jiizuke, you were talking about this being his meta. Playing the Echo, playing divers, even the Viego can really fit into that style. And now, Dignitas is going to have to be thinking about that. What aggressive picks do you want to try to ban away from EG?
And they also are thinking about how can we get away from some of this stuff. Ezreal, Lee Sin, 2 of the most mobile champions in the entire League of Legends universe. Definitely some options there. We saw how well that worked out for Team Liquid in the previous game, though, as it was mostly them on the back foot. You know, not being able to set up some proactive plays of their own. When you do on the side of EG lock in Nautilus and Rumble, you also think about dragon control, because it's very easy to control these jungle corridors that are leading up to Drake. And, you know, Nautilus ult ticking through multiple people on the enemy team, Rumble ultimate going down. That could be a very easy focus for a game plan here for EG.
I want to see a Nocturne ban come through as the final ban here on Dignitas' side. I think, what do you want to combo with a Rumble that hits backline, with a Kaisa that reaches backline, with Nautilus that ults the backline? You want one more person to come over the top to help guarantee you get that kill, because Ezreal's going to probably get away from you otherwise, and I want to see if that comes through. We've seen it as a pick into Lee Sin. Looks pretty fine. Huni had lane control the entire time in that matchup, and arguably just did more that game on the Nocturne top, but Gnar could be banned away instead.
I also like how, even though we had a hover over Viego, nobody's rushing into it. Because I still feel like, yes, you know, people are super excited for it, you know, and it's very good into a lot of melee matchups. Even in mid lane, some of the range matchups can definitely get much more difficult for him. So they're holding on to it here, waiting to suss out some of the solo lanes picks first.
Exactly. I mean, if you lose access to that mini wave, it becomes very difficult to actually sustain through a lot of those range matchups who are constantly poking away, pushing you in. Can make it very difficult. Limit the options of Viego when he's always having to play through the minions to look for stuns as well.
All right, time for the last 2 picks per team. Dignitas, well, they've already picked their top lane. They've already picked their support. So mid lane Karma. I mean, we have seen Karma as the soft counter to Rumble. I really like the Mantra Shield to get away from Equalizer, and it's going mid.
It could also be Dardoch potentially taking Lee Sin. Like, we could see some flex going around here. They have the ability to move this around between solo lanes. Lee Sin as well can be moved between mid, between top, even in the jungle. So it will be interesting to see if Dignitas wants to throw kind of a bit of a curveball. They were one of the teams that was never afraid of mixing things up when you consider all of the diverse picks they had in spring.
Look at this. Tristana mid picked up for EG. Very, very aggressive. Rumble jungle, Tristana mid, lots of damage, but not going to have that extra point to try and set it up and keep people on. Oh no, but Viego locking out. Okay, it's not locking.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
Okay, bring it back. A deep breathing here. Much more likely. Sett picked up here. This is one of the ones here where, you know, in some of the matchups versus Lee Sin, you really have to worry about the range of the E for harassment. Yeah, he can also annihilate waves with it, but Sett is very good at pulling you back for the clap. And then especially with the buffs to attack damage Sett, being able to trade quite effectively there. Obviously early on too with the passive with the double punch.
Show us the comp. Lee Sin jungle is finally back on the menu. I have to believe it. Akali.
Absolutely, the Dardoch Lee Sin here. He was known for this champion, so aggressive on it. And it's interesting because so many pros have been talking about how they don't think it's a good pick, but it is performing well in solo queue. Dardoch took a lot of champs that people weren't willing to pick, made them work on stage last time around, so the flexes do come through. Karma also a better matchup into the Sett than the Lee Sin is. This can be very annoying for Sett early. We'll see exactly what FakeGod wants to go for, if it's full on for lane, if it's full on for support. A lot of options here, and Soligo getting the aggressive Akali into Jiizuke's Tristana, who may be forced to take something like Exhaust now.
The thing is, too, with it, if you're looking at Tristana Akali isolation, you're like, whoa, Jiizuke with full mid-prio early on in this game, that could be crazy. You know, giving that up to EG that have, as we said, Rumble and Nautilus very good at trying to set up for these dragon fights and focus there early on. If you have Tristana pushing in Akali early on, explosive shot, you know, chunking off turret plates and setting up for those dragons, that could be very detrimental. But Lee Sin is a wild card, okay? Coming from the jungle, can punish Tristana. Aggressive rocket jumps in when you're trying to really punish that Akali. If you're not careful, if you're not warding to protect this mid lane matchup, if you're not invading on the jungle to try and track jungle, that is the strength of Lee. You know, the mobility of this champion and trying to surprise.
And this is such an interesting matchup. You know, having played a lot of Tristana mid myself, when you're playing these aggressive matchups, you need to utilize your push to create an advantage. Because if it just goes to parity post level 6, the threat of the all-in from these aggressive champions like the Akali becomes very, very real.
Well, we are on to the Rift for our second game of the day. EG inherit their 10-8 record from spring. Dignitas surprised the world with 11 wins in the spring split, and they carry it forward here into summer. They are up against, though, the newest face in the LCS. Danny, formerly Shiro of EG Prodigies, now onto the LCS stage. EG says the extra aggression is going to make him look good. FakeGod bringing Karma into the top lane.
I'm really, really interested to keep track of the flex pick. Already the delayed invade here. Svenskeren gets the deep ward.
Damage. Actually, this is decent damage. Impact goes for the stun, though. Dardoch down to 200 health. Actually has to burn his flash early, and the chase down shouldn't be too good. Honestly, Akali Q pretty expensive. They're still walking in. Nautilus is going to land. We are getting ourselves a fight. Ignite is on the impact. He's going to live. Danny's now in, and he's looking for the first kill. Flashless. First blood at a minute 17. Welcome to the LCS.
The youngest player in the LCS, straight from amateur, straight into first blood. 2 kills for evil geniuses. We told you it was going to be a party, Azael. Guess what? The party is started.
Oh man, EG and Dignitas are scrapping, and it looks like a lane swap actually here. Oh, Soligo, you were in trouble.
Oh, wow. Well, he's flashless. Otherwise, it would have been a flash for flash at best, or a kill easily otherwise. And I like the swap, though, right? Put Triss in a matchup, Chico in, put Sett in a matchup. He's going to completely crush.
Yeah, I mean, it's really smart, and Soligo has to go back to base with no buy. He has 0 farm. He's not even going to be able to afford a potion, and he's going to have to TP back.
It's just so cool also to go back and forth with the chess game. Okay, champ select, we at the last second, we lock in, we move the Karma up to a top lane matchup to get Lee Sin out of there. And now they move the Sett with no flash because it would be easily punishable by this Karma down to the mid lane to switch up the matchup once again, reversing the tables here. And Jiizuke with Tristana can push it extremely quickly. Still having the flash can get very aggressive. And this is going to be a big point here.
Exactly. When you have the push against Karma, you know, utilizing the Q poke becomes very difficult, right? Because do you spend the Q on the wave to try to contest the push? Do you try to look just purely for harass? If you don't, you're just going to be locked under your tower constantly. And because Karma generally wants to build into these supportive style builds, the early levels are your best time in the lane. And it's just on a build towards Mythic that is going to be very effective in the 1v1. And if you're going towards Moonstone, it's just not going to help you out very much.
Well, thankfully, probably goes Shirelius. Overall, just a better item. I think Moonstone is basically unbuyable on most champions, so would kind of hate to see that one go through. Regardless, it's not going to be a high damage mythic. It's not going to give him a lot of lane control. It's just not as bad for the 1v1, that's all. At least he can move fast sometimes. Skill punches go through. Soligo down a half HP already. 16-16 in CS, though, in that lane. Nice hook. Nicer arcane shift away.
Oh, they're going in!
They're going in. Big damage on a Danny. Doesn't have good ways out. Flashes backwards. Has somebody heal pop Sett one as well. So now it's time for the re-engage. 4 versus 3, but Soligo's right behind him. TP coming in though. Jiizuke wants in on this fight, but Danny is going to fall for 1. Trading back on Aphromoo. 1 for 1, but the numbers still favor evil geniuses. Still the kills are coming across. Dignitas fighting better. They got stronger hands. Now on the bottom side, Dardoch is barely going to make it a 1 for 1 as the chase continues on for FakeGod. He's TPing now in as well. Looking for damage and impact. Doesn't have the damage, or does he? Chain's going to come in.
Here comes Soligo.
And Soligo, can he find it? Jumps over the wall, can't quite find the rest of the engage. Does have his flash. Flash Q not gonna find the kill. Out goes EG, but this battle, I think, went 3-2.
It's a bloodbath. 7 kills at 4 minutes. Fight, 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 fight.
The party got started before minions arrived, and the party don't stop till 3 in the morning. Both Scuttle Crabs actually still living longer than all of the rest of the members on both teams. Svenskeren trying to get the first Scuttle Crab of the game, but Dardoch might have different ideas.
All right, yeah. Crab. Okay, Impact will outlive Scuttle Crab. Good job, Impact. Here's that fight again.
All right, let's take another look. Now, Danny had nowhere to go. Both summoners already blown, so good collapse there by Dig. Then, on the outside, Dardoch barely slipping away until Jiizuke. I actually can't even remember. Did he finish him? Okay, he did. He did end up going down, then double bust.
They got flash autoed, I think.
Going over on the other side.
Yeah, heal was not bad. Now Danny, he's been caught out. Great Hex Flash over the wall. The man's playing a bit aggressively, and now with Ignite on, he might just die. Just barely getting out of range, but be careful. Aphro has his E back up in like 2 seconds, and it's going to be Danny just able to walk away.
Neo had the heal. I feel like he could have played that a little bit more aggressively. It seemed like he was nervous as Kaisa was approaching the passive proc there, but with the heal, with the Ignite being committed, could have gone a little bit more ham, I think.
Ooh, all right, with all the action, trying to refocus on what this has done to some of the lanes too. Jiizuke with the Tristana continually shoving in the Karma on top side, especially without flash. FakeGod has to play it so safely. It is affording EG a lot more priority in setting up for these. You see top 3 gold earners in this game are those carries for EG, and they've got Impact in mid. Flash should be back up pretty soon here, I believe, for him to be able to set one of those plays up.
1,000 gold lead about to grow here as a turret plate is claimed, that a damage on the minions, and now the mid laners are fighting yet again. Keep in mind, no Ignite for either of these, so the damage on the kit is all they're going to get here. Soligo, 28-34, but has a wave to farm.
Yeah, not too bad for Soligo thus far, but the problem is going to be Karma, right? You're just hard stuck under your tower, you're getting out-farmed, you're losing plates, that gets dangerous, but Svenskeren heading down to this bottom side does have Nautilus for the setup, and we'll see if they can make anything happen, but seems to be he's just heading back towards the dragon, or rather his own jungle, and Jiizuke will just keep the push-up.
Yeah, I don't think anyone saw the Dignitas member put the ward in the brush here on the lane brush, and there's no sweeper transferred over yet, so they can't deny the vision. Dardoch pops over though.
All right, nice anchor is going to get him away. The stun not going to land on anyone but the Nautilus, so a good play by Ignar, but you've got Dardoch here. Flashes, ward hop slows him down. Double kill picked up in the bottom side. Jungle Lee Sin here to stay.
And I like how he wants both of those. Ward hops right back in there on the control ward to be able to hit the E on both, slow them both down. They pick up the extra kills, and this could be the way that they stop the possible dragon focus from EG. Akali, very, very versatile in evading in mid lane. Shouldn't have too much to worry about. They actually don't go over to try and transfer for Dragon. Dardoch, you see him recall instantly instead because they want to try and contest this counter jungle as EG are moving in off of the bottom side play. I don't think they expected Dardoch to recall that quickly and try and collapse for it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll be able to actually get anything done there, though, as Impact will just back it up. But Ignar being behind Impact here, they may be looking for a bit of an aggressive move.
All right, looking for it once again. Aphromoo on Leona starting it up, and then Dardoch wants to get the E on both, so that he's able to get the active from his whip, plus the damage and slow there, taking them both down.
Yeah, the sequel is good, but the original, the Lee Sin
Yes.
jungle, it's looking nice.
Hey, one day we'll get Rumble mid as well, and I'll just be like, everything I wanted to see, comes through into this one. Huni didn't get to play Rumble in the previous game, but we are on to this one. EG still keeping the pressure up. They are still up in gold. A lot of that is how much they are clapping top lane, 66-44. Thank you for swapping Jiizuke up to that lane. Big ups there. They're going to get first Herald very much on the spawn as well. That's going to mean probably the rest of top lane turret, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, with how much topside has been just Jiizuke Kingdom, and because you have Akali mid versus the Sett trying to get harassed and pushed out so frequently, I think it's a really good call by EG to use the support timer here, where Ignar and Aphromoo are both roaming. It's just so much in their advantage to be able to pick up this Rift Herald without having to commit their AD carry also. They don't have to commit any loss of resources on bottom side. They just get the Rift Herald. They can just pressure here, finish off the entire tower, and start to move this Tristana around the map. Continue the snowball, and maybe even go for a dive.
Soligo in a 1v3, waiting out for the turret to take a bit more damage. Okay, that'll die for sure, and it will be solo gold over to Jiizuke, as none of the champions ever out of the turret means they don't get to inherit any of the local gold, so that is a very rich Tristana.
It's kind of funny because we did a dueling drafts last split where Emily actually, picked Tristana top, but for Dignitas, and it's coming out in a Dignitas game against them. It can be really effective situationally, and I just think they've been so intelligent about it. Jiizuke is going to be so rich, going to show up to these team fights when they are ready to scrap at the Dragon, well ahead of the pace of the game here. And it may be very difficult, for Neo to really contest what Jiizuke is going to be able to bring out. Oh,
Dardoch did not have a blast plan to go to. Kicks, but can't maybe land the Q. Sett ult comes across, and they're ready to chase on down, though. One traded back at least. Svenskeren will lose his life at the end of the day, but now more damage. Jiizuke pushing and flashing ult. That's not going to be enough.
Oh.
Just barely lives. Needed one more auto, but the Shroud was there to stop it from happening.
Yeah, the only problem with the EG, topside play, and it, problem in quotes, is that when you're focusing on getting that first turret and that Rift Herald and all this extra money and being able to move this Tristana around, you do give up the first dragons. Off screen, Dignitas got that first dragon, so they've got at least that timer, which would delay the stacking, but you probably don't even need to rely on stacking. Here is the cone. Dardoch hopped and was over a little bit outside of the cone range, but it doesn't matter. He's able to kick one back in, so they do trade anyways and get the Svenskeren kill.
All right, back on the map as the resets come through. Kraken Slayer and Boots done for Jiizuke. Okay, finally we got the Divine Thunder through for Neo as well on his 2 kills, but the only 2 players with Mythics right there are those marksmen, a top laner one side, a bot laner on the other. And we got a while until the next major objective happens, so unless we get some kind of intricate sieges, we're just waiting for Dragon.
Well, honestly, I don't want to wait for anything. I want EG to just turn this up to 10. Keep on pushing. Keep on using the Tristana. Don't let Dig, stabilize here. They've got such a tremendous advantage with the Tristana mid here. Jiizuke's already got a full Kraken, can easily push in. You want to continue to make them bleed gold. You see him getting another turret plate here, try and just push in this Akali over and over. It's just Sork Shoes on Soligo. No big super threat here, with the Akali right now. And EG want to continue to ride this mid game.
And I do really like the EG composition. You have pretty solid engage with the Rumble. You have diverse damage profile with the the Rumble and the Nautilus, mixed in there to be able to set up, to be able to go in, to be able to team fight, double marksman, the Sett to really make things difficult as well. I mean, if Lee Sin or Akali are diving in, Sett can just dunk you out and actually create space for those marksmen. So I think it's going to be pretty difficult here for Dignitas in the team fight, and a lot of it's going to depend upon their kind of X-Factor champions, right? You need to get a big kick from Dardoch. You need to find the perfect engage from Aphro. Because in a straight-up 5v5, it just feels like if you're fighting front to back, you're going to get slammed.
Impact sitting back to the top side now. I think they just keep looking for the lanes to go to and, putting Jiizuke in a spot where he can get more turret plates. Like, he's so rich. It's ironic because Danny's 17 years old, but Jiizuke is the miner getting all the gold from knocking these plates down constantly. I was sitting that one for about 5 minutes waiting for the opportunity. Decent damage there in mid as well. And, oh, that's a Lee Sin kick. That means, yeah, the Q lands, you got to take it. That's the rule.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a rocket jump out. Jiizuke, no harm, no foul there. Waits for the Q second part to complete, so Lee Sin's not riding over with him. Rocket jump away. No harm, no foul there. And you see Jiizuke also, he immediately just goes for the quickest, shortest trade with Akali. Don't let her have any sort of, extended engage on him. It just buster shot her away for a big damage. You get this big chunk of damage onto Akali, and it's relentless pressure. This is why I really want EG to continue with this mid-game plan. You just keep up the pressure. You counter jungle, but also playing off of mid lane.
Equalizer over the top. Smite comes in. Dardoch is going to try to jump away, but he's been CC'd. He's going down. Jiizuke. Goomba stomps for one. The punch almost finds a second. Jiizuke. Goomba stomps for two. Now on the bot side, Neo and Danny are fighting, and Danny, he does it better.
It's the solo kill for Danny. He's hitting him with the emote as well. Let him know.
Neo can dodge bullets, but you can't dodge plasma. And Danny just makes it rain down there. Gets another one for himself. That means it is EG victories all across the map. They even have the time to push in on both mid and bottom. So Jiizuke gets his little chunk, then Rocket jumps away, gets another turret plate. Danny as well, mined another turret play on bottom side on top of the extra kill here. So you really get this balloon. And now from Champ Select, we get to go to the part where we're talking about these jungle fights. Yeah. When you have Rumble and you're able to just basically take up the entire space here behind red buff. You chunk them down low enough that Jiizuke on this super fed mid lane Tristana with full Kraken gets to live the Tristana fantasy of jumping in for those kills. Plasma fully proc there, gets the kill. And this is going to be continued pain for Dignitas unless, as you're saying, they can come up with some numbers advantage, maybe flank play to get that kick.
And you can see PD already done. Jiizuke picked up the plates mid, got 2 kills. He is ridiculously fed.
Well, big damage coming across here. Rumble, Equalizer buys a bit of time. Impact can't find his way in, but a stopwatch forced out of Ignar. That said, it's still a couple of turrets taken. EG ready to take their first dragon of the game as their gold lead is 4,000. Jiizuke walks in for it. Soligo coming around, though. Buster shot it away. Flash, the kick's still going to land. Not the Q, though. And ultimately, it's not going to mean much.
Is that one of the most Jiizuke plays you see? He's trying to go for trades on 3 people at once and is able to actually get away with it. I was so close there with the kick. Sometimes the angle a little bit off there doesn't land it, but Jiizuke, yeah, he's super fed and he's feeling it. He goes for the trade, does win the trade versus 3 people.
They don't have 5 mid. This is an easy trade for him.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's looking great for Evil Geniuses, looking to find their 11th win of the season. Danny stepping in his first LCS game. Hey, he got first blood. He still killed the enemy AD carry, gave him his only death, and the team around him's doing just wonderfully.
Definitely say that again. This one more one-sided in the opening than our previous game. EG with all of the turret plates having fallen a minute ago, able to quickly melt through them now. They're just paper thin after turret plates are down. Tristana, side lane. Turret goes poof, my friend.
Absolutely, and with Jiizuke this strong, you have FakeGod kind of locked in a lane in this 1v1 that FakeGod can't threaten Jiizuke whatsoever. So all you can do is try to give up the minimum, try to wave clear it out. If Jiizuke ever gets eyes on where Dardoch is, then you can just start to push freely.
And if it does land, but if you look at the inventories, looking at the mid lane difference right now, it is, and I'd say mid lane, but honestly, I just mean Tristana and Akali. How can this Akali ever get anything done as far as assassinating anyone? There's just no power there in inventory to try and back up an assassination threat. So Jiizuke can continue to play super aggressively, walking up, chunking people out, and when you chunk out people and get those health advantages, then you just get to take stuff on the map for we're basically free here as you just walk up, take down the Rift Herald, and it's just so difficult for Dignitas because they know they have so much less damage threat, even if they're able to pick somebody off.
All right, well, minions dropping back and forth here is
Woo!
EG.
First item completed for Akali.
Yeah, great. Finally has a single item, but you get flat pen out of the mythic passives. You got to find another item to complete before you really deal good damage. And yeah, just under-leveled a little bit, obviously under-farmed, a full item behind Jiizuke who's got Merc Treads done. It's such an uphill battle. I'm
going to be interested to see if Jiizuke goes for the traditional IE third or, with the Merc Treads already, does he want to go a little bit more defensive, pick up some MR? Because anyone you'd meet in a side lane will be magic damage. Ezreal has a decent amount of mixed magic damage as well. Leona is magic damage. There's a lot of magic coming out there on the Dignitas side. So if you want to play more through side lane, look more heavily for the split push, I think it's defensible to go more for kind of a different build here.
And if we take the very difficult side of it, the Dignitas side, because they're like, Jiizuke, yeah, he could buy whatever he wants right now.
That's true. Yeah, that would work, yeah.
Meanwhile, Dignitas here, with the, okay, we got a
Well,
1v1.
Committed, goes stealth, jumps away. Oh, it's gonna follow.
Oh.
That is how close he is killing. Imagine the man had 5 more ability power, could have solo killed him, but instead Impact TPs and just shuts the man down.
Honestly, I gotta be honest, I wanted that for him. After how much they've been getting pushed around this game, so close. Heartbreaker there for Soligo, but close is not enough, my friend. And Jiizuke gets away again. He didn't even use his flash. He actually had his calculator out and was not sweating.
Nope, not at all. Not even close. That's the Merc Treads in action. The MR there. If you have Berserker Greaves, you're just dead.
Well, smart plays. And now we get to see mid lane under fire. Walk in for a couple of autos. Will it finish the turret? Honestly, Dignitas not really willing to defend. So just like that, 5 turrets. Dardoch not going to go for a big kick. They got to walk away from this bit of punishment. Ultimately, it's going to be fine. Rumble ult is down. Ezreal hits 2. Doesn't seem to matter much, though. Flash engage. They're going to look for Danny. Going to get a bit of CC. Is it the kill? Ult over the wall. Chase for Neo. Ignite should kill him, and it does. How about the rest of this fight, though? Can Dignitas somehow come back from this deficit? Dardoch is burning, but he should be okay. Jumps in for the shield. Can they find anything more? No, just the wave, but at least it's a kill picked up.
I think that one was definitely a greedy save of the flash there by Danny. You could see he was wiggling his movement. He knew it was coming. He really wanted to dodge it there. He banked on dodging. If we, oh, it's not the replay, a different one. This is the 1v1 here. Take it away, Azael.
And he goes, I mean, when you hit the shuriken, it's kind of this mind game. Do you want to go over the wall immediately? And you could see he used the buster shot as that was coming through, but not able to actually knock that back. And then Aphromoo trying to peel for Soligo with the ult there, but Impact just flashes over it. Easy finish on the kill, and I mean, so incredibly close from Soligo. He hit the full combo.
Yeah, if he stayed for one more auto, that was a kill, right? Slightly misjudged what R2 would have done. I don't blame him for it, but yeah, ends up turning around. He definitely, I think, had the tools to finish that kill by just staying a second longer. Ultimately, though, we're looking around the Dragon. Good smite. Svenskeren grabs it. 20 seconds on this Dragon respawn with a 5,000 gold lead. Dignitas may not have a good way in. Looking now at mid lane being attacked. He just jumps in for it. Flash burn. Neo nearly dies, but does not go down. Locket comes up. Isn't going to be enough damage, though. Dardoch forced run away. Here's Soligo. Lands the E. Jumps in. Gets one. Ults and Shroud. Now for the chase down. Danny at 2/3 HP. Going to get caught out. Going to get assassinated as the Goon Squad comes in. Dignitas from a gigantic gold deficit have the better hands. They find the 2 kills.
And they're not done yet. They're going for a tower dive on a Nautilus. That is dangerous.
They're finding a lot there as Impact shows up. Almost finds himself 1 kill. Now the chase. The 2 junglers are battling. And Dardoch finds himself the kill. Gets a bit of help from Karma, but still, the jungle supremacy is there. Maybe Rumble could be overrated after all. It's me for 0.
There are 2 objectives up right now. Focus, focus. The Dragon is available. Baron is on the table. Don't overdive. You see, Dignitas are getting their foot in the door here as far as making the comeback a reality. They do call it off and go for the Dragon here. Nice job getting the extra kill and calming down to focus on the objective.
Yeah, that was a bit too far there for Jiizuke. He goes in, just barely doesn't have the damage. The TP flank from Soligo, so much credit deserved by him in this split, the switch, replay. Barely doesn't have it. Aphromoo comes in, and even though Jiizuke survives the initial play, when Soligo hits the shuriken flip, it's lights out.
The buster shot there, as the Rumble ult is coming down. They timed them. There was just anti-synergy, 0 damage to the Ezreal from that Rumble ultimate. If even a tick of it, if it just touches him for a second, you put one baby toe on that red carpet, all of a sudden he goes down. You know, you get Triumph heals and stuff coming through, but yes, definitely props to Soligo on the teleport and landing the E. So much damage now is in Akali's E after the buffs. Very, very good comeback here from Dig. They take advantage of that aggressive opening.
All right, Shirelia's done. Staff of Flowing Water in as well. Ability Power and Ability Haste. No longer move speed on that item, but Karma is ready to buff everyone up and give them a bunch of stats. Obviously, outside of Lee Sin, they can use the AP reasonably well. Ability Haste, of course, everyone can go for that one, so we'll see if they can find some kills out of that. Impact playing a bit more defensively now, kiting away, but going for a tank item next.
EG just got to reset a little bit after that one. They're still quite a bit ahead here. 4K in the gold lead. Have incredibly strong marksmen. You can see that Jiizuke is going towards the IE third, so that's going to be a very big power spike for them. And Serpent's Fang is the option here for Danny. I actually really like this in a game like this. Instead of just going towards Collector, instead of being on autopilot, there's Karma. There's also the Safeguard shields as well here from Dardoch. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like the pickup, even though on range, damage reduction there, or a shield reduction not quite as high. They did just recently buff it up to 35% instead of the 25% to feel a bit better. And Kaisa is definitely one that can apply it effectively. So we'll see if that is the extra little bit as far as some of these all-ins that actually have been so close to come down to slivers of health.
Yeah, and it's really convenient too, because so many of Kaisa's builds like want to get the serrated Dirk, and so many they're just like, oh, I'll just go collector, whatever, it's there. But it's like, actually, yeah, this synergizes really nicely. You've already got the part of the component, so yeah, go ahead and shut down the locket. Go ahead and shut down Karma and Lee Sin. It is a really good tool, so that should look nice. I'm really glad that Danny has itemized better than all pro players ever. He has 100% hit rate on itemizing well. Like, I'm already now Danny's biggest fan.
We're living a real-life Phreak build better moment.
Yeah. This is great.
Live on stage here. Here we go, though. Digger are living some real-life dreams as Neo with the red buff. Loving that, Ezreal aggression, looking for the picks. Looking for some of the harassment there. Doesn't really get much a hold of EG, but you can tell Dig, even with the very slow opening here with EG having a lot of power, they're trying to create their own comeback. They are never a team to sit back and just go down waiting. That's what you definitely got to know about them so far in 2021. And it's no different here.
And that's something I always love to see. I mean, when you are already at a big deficit and you just go into the turtle shell, you sit back in your base, all you are doing is allowing your opponents to actually dictate the pace of the game, to farm away your jungle camps, to expand that gold lead. So I like to see them trying to take things into their own hands, and it's starting to feel somewhat reminiscent of the tactical and the core JJ, the Ezreal plus Karma combo here, trying to play aggressive, utilizing the move speed that is being given by that shield to allow Neo to step forward without using the arcane shift and really try to poke away.
And Neo's definitely one I'm looking at because, the Muramana is finished there. That's when Ezreal, to me, really starts to become this big mid-game threat. So I want Ignar, Nautilus is going to have eyes on either the Ezreal or the Akali, depending on the position.
Rocket jumps away, kites the ulti, still gonna have Dardoch on his tail, isn't enough damage flash, but I think the Q is on, so yes, they're gonna chase him with Akali, and Tristana just cannot survive the dive duo.
Yeah, can't get out of there, and that is huge. Dignitas are looking for more. Will they move up towards the Baron or just try to force a siege here to extend the advantage? Because Jiizuke will be back with TP in time for the Dragon.
It's funny because I've had a lot of players, jokingly tell me, yeah, if you get behind EG, your main goal is to look for Jiizuke, find him on the map. And they did it. They found him. Here's an answer, though, from EG.
Big haste, big locket shield, but it is a 5 versus 4 on the map. Now they're TPing in Akali. He'll be there well before Jiizuke. Sett ult not going to find a ton. And now how about the re-engage? Zonia's for Svenskeren. Kaisa over the top. Danny finds one, but he gets instantly shut down. 1 for 1, maybe not the way you want to spend your ultimate. Anchor nearly lands. That could have been a kill into Aphromoo. The respawn still waiting. Jiizuke up right now. And the question is he going to be enough to turn the tables here? Keep in mind, Neo's dead. Neither team has a marksman until that TV finishes, and then Jiizuke probably owns the Rift again.
Back-to-back punishes here from Dignitas. EG, they look for the 4v5 play there. Danny diving in, does trade, but this is with another Dragon timing. They go for it right before the Dragon, trying to set up the advantage for themselves so that they don't let Dig, get to number 3, get to the soul point. Now, though, they've got him on the map in 2 seconds.
Akali ults up right now. Now they have the tools once again to one-shot Jiizuke if they go for it. He did go Infinity Edge, did not go Bloodthirst or anything else for defensive stats, so he is going to be a bit frail. Dardoch in, Stride Breaker, not going to find much more. Ulti puts Svenskeren down to 600, though, and at this point, the smite advantage should be just too much. It's not going to be easy to make that fight happen. Kick comes across, Equalizer as well. Here comes the re-engage, so they cannot find Jiizuke. But how about the front line, though? Soligo very, very low, should be invisible. Kites out, almost finds impact. Can they get the rest? Dardoch ward hops to safety, just barely stays alive. Health bar is very low, loses the Sterix gauge, but it's now EG forced to run away.
And Neo is back here, and with the low health bars, it would be so dangerous to move in against that Ezreal, so they will push it to soul point. Dignitas fighting from behind for so much of this game have grabbed themselves a win condition here. They just need one more Dragon.
And they've done it so many times this year that You always have to respect this from this team. Clawing themselves right back out of it. Pick after pick after pick. Also timing it here with the Dragon, number 3 soul point. Yes, it is the Cloud Drake, so it's just going to give you the move speed, and we're looking at the ultimates here for effectiveness. But honestly, here's some pretty good ones to use it with. Akali, Lee Sin, trying to really rely on mobility and those angles. The extra move speed does actually go a long way here for them in trying to accomplish their goals. Tristana, level 15 here for Jiizuke, has been kind of capping out in the effectiveness in a lot of these setups.
And they find the root. They find a couple of spells on impact, but he's going to walk away from the rest of it. Now mid lane could be under fire as EG, count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ready to siege mid.
I mean, Jiizuke has everything he needs to really be dominant, but he hasn't been able to execute in these fights, and now they're looking for the fight.
Decent damage on Ignar. Didn't have Aftershock available, but might not matter going in now for the play. They put big damage on the front line, but be careful as Impact, he's running low, he will die. Dardoch finds that kill, and Equalizer has done nothing to turn that one back around. Huge on Jiizuke, almost finds the kill, but will not. Health bars, though, are low. Is it enough? Yes, they can chase down Ignar. Dignitas keep having the better hands to win the team fights from down in gold. They are just better at the 5-on-5s. They are better at the 2-on-2s, and now chasing down 5v3. They got Baron ready to go.
As soon as EG split there was no hesitation. Dignitas goes right in. 2 members from EG were segregated towards the mid lane. Dignitas find the fight, get the kills. They are on the Baron.
They are ready to go for this one. Ulti's going to land. Svenskeren is not allowed near the pit. Dignitas seem to be the best team fighting team in the LCS. You get them within 5k gold, they will find a way to beat you 5-on-5.
They're doing such a good job of using their mobility advantage in these jungle fights. They've been disengaging off these Rumble ultimates, collapsing and focus firing down the single target. Meanwhile, this damage from EG not quite sticking, and the Karma shields as well as the Leona locket keeping them above water, despite, the Serpent's Fang as well, trying to cut through some of those shields. And you see the focus really paying off here. Mobility from Dark goes back in. They get the kill on the single target. Then they focus the biggest threat there. Jiizuke gets kicked out. Ignar gets chunked down as far as the poke just being followed up here. But really, to me, the beautiful things have been stuff as small as every time there's an objective, who does Neo target with his ult? The jungler. He shoots his Ezreal ult at Svenskeren every single time before the Dragon fight, chunking out him lower so he can't get in there for the Smite fight, chunking him out again for the Baron. And just look at the damage that he can put out on this Ezreal with Muramana transformed and working around the mobility of these fights so well.
And I think it makes a lot of sense, especially when you're thinking about the other carries here, the double marksman. They have sustain built in. They can actually shrug off some of that poke. Rumble can't do it nearly as easily. Yes, he is going to have some amount of sustain here, but nothing like what he needs to be able to actually deal with the damage that Neo is putting out at this point in the game.
And here we go. Dragon Soul in a minute 45. Rebel Baron on for longer than that. Dignitas, if they play their cards right, should get that objective. They find a stun, and they get Jiizuke to flash away at half health. Big kick comes across, as Ignar cannot do much to set things up. The shields are too good. The Rumble Nautilus combo does absolutely nothing, and Svenskeren burns his Zonias only to die instead. Means nothing. Mid lane gonna fall. Soligo on the side lane. Yeah, he had to land against Impact earlier. Forced to TP back at level 1 with no items, and look what he's doing in this game. So much more. 4-1 and 3, killing the backliners. EG forced to sit inside their base.
And Dignitas are actually ahead in gold now after being so far behind. We saw what they could do from a disadvantage. They now have a huge lead, and they are looking to go for more.
Sett ult comes in, Soligo kicked into the turrets. That's going to be a problem. Ult's back to safety, gets a big Karma shield, and hey, you know what? No problem. He's fine. Don't worry about it. Turret going to fall in the mid lane. Baron still on for 50 seconds. And remember, they can always retreat to this Dragon Soul and claim it for the move speed. That dive gets even scarier.
This is just such an incredible continuation of the story for this team, because saw so many people, honestly myself included, thinking about the transition between spring and summer. Is this Dignitas party going to continue? Are they going to continue to just rock the LCS? 5NA, McDonald memes, every single angle that you look at, and they're still putting it up here again. 5,000 gold on that Baron power play.
5NA can win, baby.
Yep. It's looking good. It's looking great right now. Dignitas doing their best to prove the spring split was not a fluke. They really are a top 4 team in the LCS. Yeah, spring split certainly does matter. They carry forward the 11 wins. Again, that's looking good, and they're carrying forward a win against EG. And this game started as a catastrophe. If you missed the first 2 minutes of the game, it was a 2-0 start with every summoner spell basically down, and they came back from that. They came back from almost impossibility, and now it's going to be Impact trying to come back to his base, but how can you? Ults into 3, but really, who cares about the shield? You got Danny over the top. Is it enough to re-engage? They find one, and now it's time to run. That is okay. That is a kill picked up. That is good by Jiizuke, but is it still going to matter? Lee Sin Q lands. The team fight looks like it's 3-1 so far. Ignar and Svenskeren going to try their best to run away. Equalizer, yeah, who cares about that spell at this point? Honestly, Soligo can tank the entire ult and still go for the kill. 4-1 in that fight. The Cloud Soul is theirs. The TP coming in for more.
Soligo said, yeah, you guys level 1 stomped us. Look at me now. 6 kills, Akali. He's flourishing. He's in his lane. He's out of his lane. He's dominating this game after such a painful opening. Dignitas, stand tall.
Looking like the best team fighting team in the LCS. They did it in spring. They're continuing on in summer, and they're going to find Ignar running back to his fountain, chase in for the kill. Not a problem at all. A rampage for Dardoch, who had the worst jungle start you could have imagined. The Nexus will fall. Dignitas proving their mettle over evil geniuses.
A kill a minute, and what a comeback as well. Dignitas fighting their way out of the deficits. Constantly finding picks, constantly finding angles. And you said it, Phreak, just having better hands in the 5v5. Yep. They straight up outplayed EG, who was playing from a monstrous advantage. And despite that huge lead, they never really